4-1 Buffalo Bills, coming off of an absolute beautiful beatdown of the Kansas City Chiefs, 38-20 on Sunday Night Football, are going to be taking on the 2-3 Tennessee Titans, who just beat the Jaguars 37-19. But before all that, Puma, before we get into the game, can we stop with the Josh Allen Buffalo Bills are going to regress narrative? Like, let's just be grown-ups here for a second.
Talk about it.
Seriously, like, at some point, you've got to give in. I mean, Greg Bedard, who is by far one of the biggest ass clowns on Boston radio, went on Boston radio yesterday and said he thinks that Mac Jones is a franchise quarterback, but also said that Josh Allen isn't a franchise quarterback. Like, what are we talking about here? The man just beat the Kansas City Chiefs in a beatdown on Sunday Night Football, and you still don't want to give him his props? Like, I don't understand why people are afraid to say they were wrong. Listen, I was wrong by Josh Allen. I thought he was horrible the first 2 years. Puma, you remember that, right? You remember me coming on here.
You were burying him. I was the lone defender in the Alamo again for Josh Allen.
I would come on here every week and point out every errant throw, a little bit on the unfair side as well. But the man just kept plowing. He just kept moving forward. And now he's playing at MVP level. And I said earlier, he is my MVP right behind Tom Brady, number 1, number 2. But we've got to be adults here. We've got to see for what it is. Right now, the Buffalo Bills are the best team in the AFC. Let's just be adults. Let's just say you're wrong. Let's, essentially come to the grips that Josh Allen and the Bills are going to be here for a while to stay.
Oh, dude, they are going to be here for a while. And, Jay, we were talking about this during the game on Sunday. And, refereeing aside, they were horrid on both sides of the football. But that last drive where Josh Allen basically hurdled over a defender, that was, and you hit the nail on the head when we were talking about it during the game. That was a steal your soul type of drive. Like, that play happened.
I've seen that look for 20 years straight.
Travis Kelce's face looked like Apollo Creed in Rocky 1 at that scene round 14 where he thought he had Rocky on the ropes. He knocked him down. He thought he won. And Rocky just got up, and Apollo's face, like he just lost his soul. And that is what the Kansas City Chiefs and Travis Kelce looked like. And you hit the nail on the head. That was a soul-snatching drive on Sunday.
Puma, for 20 years, I've seen, not these Patriots, but the vaunted New England Patriots are going to come into your city, take your will, steamroll over you by 40 points. I've seen that, and I've seen that look on Travis Kelce's face for 20 years. So when I see it, like, I know what it is. Like, he knows he was defeated. He couldn't believe what was happening. Because you know how the Chiefs are a very cocky, arrogant team. They think they're just going to roll the helmets out there and throw 50 points, and it's not going to matter. But in that moment, he knew deep down, oh, my God, we are fucked so bad.
Yep. Well, I mean, I was on the pod when we were doing the way too early predictions. I took the Chargers to win the AFC, and I also said, like, that the Chiefs are going to be in for a rude awakening. Like, they're going to be resting on their laurels. And it's been kind of the case right now through 5 weeks. Like, this Chiefs defense is absolutely a dumpster fire. And, yeah, I'll give you this. Like, they missed Chris Jones last week. Completely understand that. But the fact of the matter is that the Buffalo Bills took care of the defending AFC conference champions that went to the Super Bowl last year on both sides of the football. That defense, they did not need to blitz at all because they were rushing for it. Gregory Rousseau could potentially be, in my opinion, a dark horse candidate for Defensive Player of the Year. He was wreaking havoc all over the place. He's been popping on the film all 5 weeks of the NFL season so far. And to get to the Monday Night Football game, the Bills-Tennessee Titans matchup, that could also be slated as a revenge-type narrative because you remember last year, like this game kept getting moved because the Tennessee Titans had an outbreak of COVID. They ended up playing on a Tuesday. Buffalo came out flat. Everyone was burying Josh Allen, the Tennessee Titans. Again, I was the only person in the Alamo defending them at that point.
I was burying them.
Yep. And I think Buffalo, I think they're going to take care of business. On paper, this could potentially be a letdown spot for the Buffalo Bills just because of all the adrenaline and energy and emotions being invested in finally taking down the Kansas City Chiefs. I think it actually helps the Buffalo Bills that they're playing on prime time because it's not going to be potentially as bad as a letdown. I like the Bills in this game. I like both sides of football. They are firing on all cylinders. Josh Allen is a savage. Emmanuel Sanders is a great complimentary piece to Stephon Diggs. Zach Moss seems to be taking over the lead running back role a little bit, gradually at a time. Dawson Knox, in my opinion, is a top 5 tight end this year. Really a pleasant surprise considering the path he took to get to the NFL from Ole Miss. And the Tennessee Titans, man, like for years this defense has been bad, but like they've been buoyed because of Derrick Henry running the football. But I mean, you look like the explosive plays downfield, they just aren't there right now. And like AJ Brown, to me, when it comes to like, explosive plays down the field, seems to have taken a little bit of a step back. And I don't know if that's just because of like game script or they're just not on the same page. Or, they were trying to work in Julio Jones this year, who's missed the last couple of games with a hamstring injury. I think Buffalo's going to win this game. The over-under is at 54. I'm not really going to touch that. I do like Buffalo laying the 5.5 points just because of how bad the Tennessee Titans defense has been all year. And as a matter of fact, since last year, this defense has been horrid also. So I like Buffalo in this spot. I think they win. I think they cover the 5.5.
Yeah, man, listen, I don't think this is going to be a close matchup. I think the Buffalo Bills are going to steamroll the Titans. Listen, at the end of the day, the Buffalo Bills have the number 1 offense and the number 1 defense. That's the true hallmark of a great team. It's not like, oh, they're missing this sector, they're fine, blah, blah. No, they're number 1 on offense, they're number 1 defense, they're playing really good football. But what I want to talk about is, what's up with this Julio Jones situation with the Titans? And obviously, on its face value, it's a soft tissue injury with the hamstring, right? But Julio Jones is one of the best conditioned athletes, right? This guy is a 24/7, 365 a day, 365 a day year cycle of physical fitness. And I just don't buy the fact that he's working through a hamstring. Am I being a little conspiracy theorist here where I think there might be a little bit of a rub between him and Vrabel? Obviously, we all saw the comments he made about Julio Jones, week 2 or whatever it was. And,
dumb shit decision.
Yeah,
capital letters.
Yeah, Vrabel straight up threw him under the bus in the post game, and I just feel like that relationship might be a little bit rocky, and maybe I'm reading too much into it. But what's your thoughts on that conspiracy theory?
I could see where you're coming from, considering this is the most Julio Jones has missed in his entire NFL career, if I'm recalling correctly. Like the dude grinded through hamstring injuries with the Atlanta Falcons at times, turf toe, you name it. He was dealing with a bunch of stuff. So I can see where you're coming from. I'm not buying the unhappy camper with the new team with Mike Vrabel just yet. I do feel like potentially we might be a blow up away from me being wrong in that respect, but I do see where you're coming from. I would put it at a 10% chance that it is because he has not seen eye to eye with Mike Vrabel, but I just think he actually is working through a pretty bad hamstring injury.
Okay.
Considering his age and I don't even think they didn't even extend him a new contract, right? When they traded for him, they had to restructure the cap to make sure he could fit on the roster, but they never gave him a new contract. Am I right in recalling that?
Yeah, I think you're right. Obviously, we'll double check that, but I think for the most part,
maybe it's he's making a couple of business decisions, which then again I would bear credence to your theory. So I can see where you're coming from. That's all I'm gonna say.